All right, what's going on? Let's get this going. As always, um, being powered by Monster Energy here, so let's get it going. Shout out to my Aria Stark Not Today t-shirt. I can't get fresher than that, but let's jump into this. Today I wanted to show you guys how I edited this picture, and essentially how you can take a raw file and kind of carve out the final product using dodging and burn. So this is the final image right here. I love this. This was shot at a Separk Mansion in Gastonia, North Carolina. Shout out to them. I'm very thankful for them for letting us shoot there. But this is the final product, and then this is the starting point over here. So very different. And one thing I want to say before I get moving too deep on this is when I rewatched the last video, that last editing video, I noticed that the colors aren't completely what I'm seeing. So maybe that means I need to, I think it's been a month since I redid my monitor calibration. So I might need to do that. The colors are slightly off, but for what we're doing here and until I get a full grip and handle on how to record this stuff, this will do. So we'll come over here. So immediately, what I always do, and if you if you subscribe to my newsletter, you will get my base preset. I apply this to everything when I'm starting out. So I apply that, and what I mentioned in the last editing video is if you apply my base preset, it has my adjustments here, which over here you can see are minimal. But then you'll come check the tone curve and you'll see I've done some adjustments here to make it more contrasty. And then after that I just adjust the sharpness, and that's about it. But one thing I always do after applying it is immediately adjust my exposure and my white balance. Because between every different shot I take, whether I'm outdoors, especially on a wedding day, if I'm outdoors and I come inside, the white balance changes, the exposure changes, and a lot of times, if you're a wedding photographer, you know this, that sometimes you just have to be very quick with getting the shots you need, and sometimes you can't adjust. Typically I shoot in Kelvin, so I try to get my white balance as accurate as I can, but sometimes you forget to adjust that. So I've applied the preset. I will adjust the brightness. Maybe it's about right there. The white balance is quite off. I'll check the auto. That auto did pretty nice. A lot of times the auto is pretty off, so if we just go flip back and forth between what it was to what auto gives it, I think auto did a pretty good job. Just check that one more time. 5350 plus 4. Hit auto, that was at 53. I might bring some more magenta back in it. I'm gonna come down here, and this always takes a second to kind of adjust. There we go, so that's sharp. So I remember she was very tan and he was a pinch paler than her. So this actually looks about right. I might go plus 4 here, and this is just me eyeballing it. You'll have to eyeball it as well when you're editing your pictures. You saw them in person, so you have a good idea of what their skin looked like in person. So I might go to 65, and I'll toy with this. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to snap back to the finish to this one. I think I have this as a web file, so that's about as zoomed in as I'm getting there. Let me go 3:1. It's going to be a bit pixelated, but if I come over here, just looking at color. Oh, snap. Come on, Scott. It's about right for what I want to do. So immediately, also want to quickly align this. I think it needs to go this way a pinch. And I need to come over. Let's see. No, not a fan of that. Because this frame down here needs to be more centered, you heard? Or more parallel. So I'm gonna do this. Where do I get them centered? I just want to get them centered first, and then I'll touch that alignment again. As a couple, I think they're centered there. And then we're going to get this. And we're packing, getting ready to go on vacation, so you might hear some background noise. But no, you're good. This is the only time I could get this in for y'all for this week. Since I'm be on vacation, I won't have time to do it, so I wanted to get y'all something to watch. So I think that is centered. It looks about right. So watch me edit this, and it won't come out looking as good as the final product was before. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave that like that. I may pop a little bit more exposure, and then bring some highlights down, bring these shadows down a pinch. So I think we're getting closer. Normally I wouldn't do all this back and forth, but screwing around here I will. Okay, so from here I'm going to take this into, let me just see what some clarity does. Okay, I like that. From here I'm going to take this into Photoshop, and this is where we'll do dodging and burning, and this is where we will get rid of this. So I had flash here just in case I wanted to do something creative. It was a AD200 from Godox with the mag box aimed at the couple. When I was downstairs, I told her to put her shoes there because I didn't realize what it would look like from here, but we'll get rid of this in Photoshop, so I'm not too worried about that. Once I got up here and looked down, I saw the stuff was in the frame, but if you know what you're doing in Photoshop, you can get rid of it. So from here, we will go straight into Photoshop, edit in Photoshop. This might take a hot minute because I'm recording this with OBS, which uses a lot of machine resources. So it's got the webcam going, we got the mic going, it's writing live as we're doing this, so we'll see how long it takes. It's doing something. Here we go. I like. Okay. Really quick, I won't take as long as I did on the first one. I always come down to faces. I'm going to sharpen. Just sharpen some features. Da, 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 da. Okay, he got a little something there. But if you're looking at this picture pulled back, you don't notice any of this, but I'm anal like that, so I'm gonna get rid of it. There is some little spots on the floor that bother me a pinch. I'm just gonna slowly come through here. I'm not gonna do it as, like, if I'm editing something that I think is a true banger and somebody is gonna print out, I take my time getting all this stuff. For this quick edit for this video, I'll probably fly through just so you guys aren't having to sit around and watch too much of me cleaning spots off the wood floor. Get rid of that. Boom, boom. I'm just, anything that jumps out at me, we're gonna get rid of. A little crap. Boom, boom. And I only use the healing brush if I'm literally just getting rid of little spots or bumps on people's faces. Outside of that, I use the lasso and content aware delete, and let the computer figure out what best to replace what I'm trying to delete. And even sometimes that doesn't work. Deleting different things from different backgrounds, it's like you got all your tools and you're actively trying to figure out which one's going to be the best one for the situation. So I float around, but most of the time I'm using the lasso and the content aware delete. So I think this is about, that's probably about all I feel like doing for this. We do have to come over here and address this situation. I don't like that. Boom, boom, boom. There's a few little spots that are now pissing me off. So I will do, let's try the shoes. We're going in the last, remember I'm going to dodge and burn, so this area is going to be a lot darker than what it is right now. So I'm going to hit delete. That was the last. So I'm using content aware blending, normal opacity 100%. I just want to see how close this gets it. I feel like it's going to get rid of it and maybe leave a shadow. It all depends. I never know what's going on in Photoshop's head when it's doing all this shenanigans here. Oh, now look at that. That was pretty clean. That was pretty clean, huh? Looks like there might be some like off coloration here, right? But that was pretty damn clean. I'm gonna leave this because I know, yeah, I'll just do, let's see if that'll replace that little off coloring. Because I know that I'm gonna darken this whole area up. So we'll come revisit that after. This one's a bit trickier because we're going from a highlight to a shadow. I'll do this in like a little, whoops, my computer just did some shenanigans. Control D to deselect. Oh, more shenanigans. Aren't you glad you tuned in? Okay, I'm gonna do this in steps. So we have the pattern of the wood floor. So let's see if it'll remember the pattern or fill that pattern in. You know, I'm not overly excited about that, but if I ever want to just come back up here, it's not horrific, so I'm going to leave it. We're being quick. So this line here, once I dodge and burn, it might not be as obvious. Let's see. Things like this that have like different arms and branches going in different directions, I don't like to do that in a one whole swoop. I try to do them in sections. So we got that little bit done. Gosh dang it, this computer. So we got that bit done. Let me see if we can get rid of this leg in one swoop. Now some of this is going to be off, but remember I'm dodging and burning, and I can use the a patch tool and come in and align that. I'm gonna get rid of it, do my dodging and burning, and then we'll retake a look at it and see. Even though the lines don't look up, once that's dark, that's probably going to be pretty clean. Let me come here. Da 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 da. I'm loving it. Let's go. This is 2 straight videos where I've left a light stand in. Imagine if I was more thorough and pulled this shit out. I wouldn't have to be screwing around with this. So note to self. It also comes down to time, right? If you're on a time crunch and you're upstairs, boy, what am I doing? If you're on a time crunch and you're like up the stairs getting ready to do this shot, and then you get up there and you see that you need to move something, if it's a wedding day, dude, get the shot. If your assistant's not right there, get the shot, edit it later. Time is money on the wedding day. That's the importance of having an assistant. So if I didn't bring one on this day. This was just like a couple shoot. If you have an assistant on a wedding day, ooh-wee. Have them right there, and you just, hey, move that out of the way for me right quick. Problem solved. No Photoshop shenanigans needed. I'll be interested to see what this does here because I'm going across different tones and surfaces. I think it's going to screw up the white. Ooh, and it did good. So this looks like a light flare or something. Like it looks a little lighter than what's there. So I'm going to see if it can just bring me some dark. And this could just be me looking at, okay, much better. So, listen, it wasn't textbook. We're doing this quick, but if you go from the start to finish, and I'm going to make this darker, boom, we good. So, we got rid of the eyesores. I'm going to come back here, and how I do dodge and burning is through curves. So, I'm going to come up here, and I'll be honest, I forget. Anybody else forget which one is dodge and which one is burn? Look, I'm going to go for the darks right now. So I'm going to pull the midpoint down. I'm going to Command I to reverse that layer. And now I'm going to brush in the areas that I want dark. I'm going to do this at dark. Look, so people are coming in my house right now. So it's about to go tits up real fast. So all the dark areas, I'm gonna paint that in. Is that Bree?
Yes.
She's gonna say I'm such a loser right now.
You are such a loser. All right. So for them, all of their stuff.
Okay. So literally just painting, right? I mean, you could, if you hit the backslash, you can kind of see where you're painting. I have some spots here that I need to get rid of. X, I want to get all whatever's on this white, get it off, make it consistent, go back to X. Okay, so here's some more shadows right here, just a little bit kind of on the edge. A little smaller here.
2 out, just in case he has an accident, and more times than not, he will have an accident.
Okay.
Just over there. Yeah, just over there.
Just over there.
And then.
Okay. And then see how it's bright? See, this is the beauty of my wife. While I'm recording, she decided to do a house tour with the dogs right now.
I'm sorry, I have to get ready for work.
Well, then get you and the dogs outside.
Will escape. Okay. She'll be fine. So this is just harness, flip over. Oh, perfect. Easy. And don't worry about picking up the poop. I don't do that. I was like, my yard's gonna look awful. Well, I'm gone.
You see our yard all the time. Hi.
Hey, stop.
Okay, so this is like a highlight right here, and this is a bit darker around the edges, so I'm going to paint that in with the curves. I'm going to go down a bit, come here. I got some on the white here, so I'm going to peel that off. Yo! So let me paint this off. So if we want to check, see how we're carving out where we want the eyes to go. I mean, anything loud you can do right now, you're doing, right? Why don't you go set some fireworks off? So now we're going to get the highlights. Adjust the midpoint on that curves layer. I command I to reverse it. I got my brush. So this area here around them, I'm going to paint to draw the eyes in there. Right here. Oh, I might need to bring that up. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I'm painting with black, so nothing's happening. Let me go to white. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let me bring this down. And this is us. Remember, I'm going a little quick. Boom, boom, boom. I would do that, but I don't want to make this brighter because I want everybody's eyes to go here. And then we had this middle area here, right over here, this wood, where there was like a natural highlight. So I want to accentuate that. The eyes are still going to go here. I could probably tone this down. Let me go opacity 60. But then I'm going to come down here and just do a pinch of dodge and burning on them. So now I'm back on the shadows. Paint that. Just to give this some more definition. Boom, boom. Got these shadows. This is how you take a image that could be a bit flat and bring some more life to it. Put some 3D pop on it. So just anywhere where I see some dark shadows, I'm going to just hit it a bit, and then I'll do the same with the highlights. There's some here. Oh, you know what? So for the shadows on her, I'm going to take my opacity down to maybe about 30%. So here, you see some shadows there. There's a touch of shadow there. A bit here. So this is just anywhere where I see a bit of shadow. We're just going to give Shorty a little more definition. Just got some shadows there, but her natural tan there is dark now. I might a little bit of shadow there. I'm going to pop that. I'm going to pop that. Pop that. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So I think I'm gonna leave that as is. My man seems good. Okay. So now let me go to the highlights. So she had a little stream there. I might crank this up a bit more. There. Boom. Is that on her? I'm hitting the backslash to make sure there's some paint there. Paint. Paint. I might bring this up to 100. I'm not seeing much. Okay. So that's doing stuff. Also here, I'm gonna go small and fine on that. Hit a few highlights here. I don't want to go too heavy on the highlights. These are already extreme, and there's a lot of hot spots already there, so I'm gonna leave that as is. Let's come up, boom. And if we merge this group from layers, DB, dodge and burn. Now if we want to see how that carves it, makes it a little more 3D. So I'm gonna hit that. I'm going to brightness. I'm gonna hit a 5 and a 2, and I think I'm going to be done. So let's do flatten image. My wife just left, and she just gave my dog the loudest toy she could hand him. Jesus, I gotta get a hold of my household. So let's see just how off I am on this re-edit. I feel like it's close. We shall see. Save. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. Whoops. There's OBS. Okay, this is my new guy. I'm going to hit 5-star on him. This is the original over here. 5-star on him. Attribute. 5-star. Let's have a look. Let's see. Already I can see where I went a little darker on my original in the shadows. I mean, it's fairly close. Come on, computer. We close. Looks like I went hotter on the highlights, which I actually like. It looks like I went darker on the shadows in the original. But that's it. That's how I edit this. You can see I applied a base preset, adjusted my exposure, adjusted the white balance, then went to Photoshop and did my dodge and burn to make this more 3D and carve the image out. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I got you. Please subscribe, like, and share, and we will do this again. Bye, gang.